I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future, and instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be. The Billionaire Code. Last week, I had the incredible opportunity to speak at Russell Brunson's Funnel Hacking Live, and it was amazing. Over 3,500 entrepreneurs all in the same room. The energy was unreal. You know, at a lot of events, you see this attrition over the course of the few days of the event where fewer and fewer people show up every day. And you just didn't see that at Funnel Hacking Live. It was like the room was packed every day. There was no seats available every single day. And people were like scouring the room trying to get seats closer to the stage. It was intense. And I got the opportunity to speak once when I did a 1 hour presentation. Most of the speakers were given a half hour, I was given an hour. I'll share in a minute why. I also got to speak again with Russell during a presentation for a coaching program that I am partnering with him on and playing a small role in. There's 5 coaches for a coaching program, and we're sharing some of our strategic planning and some of our team building content with that group. But the reason Russell gave me more time is that I was able to share a little bit about the entrepreneurial personality type, but then go into a really in-depth review of the Billionaire Code. And the Billionaire Code is this content that I've been working on for years. In fact, when you look at it, what it is it's the 9 transitions that we go through as entrepreneurs, the 9 different, very distinct shifts that we go through, that we all must go through in order to grow a business to $100 million or more. And I have a couple of other levels, but the 9 levels are what I share when I go out and when I speak and when I talk about it. And here's where they first started. I obsessed over success, over what creates success. I've read tons of stories of life histories, of autobiographies, biographies, third-party accounts, journals, whatever I could get my hands on. And I started to see these patterns in people's lives. And one of the patterns was, I started with this assumption that entrepreneurs' lives are driven by questions. And I started asking, what is the base level question of our lives? What is that foundational question we're asking? And what I found was, when you look at the lives of entrepreneurs, there's definitely a shift. And I had these 9 questions that I created, and they are, how do I stop pressure and noise? The first question we ask. Most of us feel more than most. And that's that question that like once we get past it, we start asking, what is wrong with me? Because it's first like, how do I stop the noise? And then what's wrong with me? Because we feel different than those around us. And then we start asking the question, how do I get ahead? That feeling of alienation makes us drive for gained advantage. And then we have that question, how do I get further ahead? Which for a lot of us, that's that time in our lives, how do I get ahead period, or how do I get further ahead, is where we do things maybe we don't want to talk about or tell people about. And then there's the how does my team get me ahead period. It's that selfish early period of management where we need a team to help us exclusively. They need to help us do more. Like that's what the team does. It's a lot of people as process. It's a lot of people just amplifying you, and then you immediately shift. And if you watch successful entrepreneurs, they went from how does my team get me ahead to how do I get my team ahead? Because almost immediately, the more productive your team is, the better you do. And then the next question, how does my team get even further ahead? Where you realize exclusively like coaching your team, helping your team, growing your team is how you grow your business. And then what happens to all entrepreneurs is as we grow our teams, as we grow our influence, our affluence, we start asking the question, how do we help others get ahead? And that's where we start partnering with people and creating, helping foundations, helping other organizations and affiliations and really growing our business to the absolute next level. And then the last question, every entrepreneur, if they live long enough and they experience a level of success high enough, they start asking the question, how do we help everyone? And that's why so many entrepreneurs end up running foundations or building massive legacies. And, there's a reason why so many buildings have the names of entrepreneurs on them. And a lot of people think it's because they were great business people. No, it's because they wrote a check. Entrepreneurs, they're the one class of human being we shouldn't tax because we go out and we make as much money as we possibly can until we give it all away. And those base level foundational questions was how I discovered the Billionaire Code, because what started happening was I started building out a framework around those questions and classifying exactly what we need at each level of development as we grow forward as entrepreneurs, and exactly what we're doing at each level of development when we're able to progress as entrepreneurs. And I've been working on this for the past couple of years, and the content's gotten to the point where now it's what I use. When I sit down to coach someone, I first determine which of the 9 levels are they in of the Billionaire Code, and then are they doing what they need to be doing? Because here's where most wasted entrepreneurial time. Here's where most of us waste our currencies. Remember, there's 5 currencies: cash, time, effort, energy, and focus. And where most of us waste our currencies is we focus on something in the present that isn't where we need to focus right now. When you look at the Billionaire Code, it will show you exactly what you need to graduate each level. And focusing anywhere else only moves you away from where you want to be. So one of the most important things about the Billionaire Code is being able to understand exactly where to put all of those currencies so that you actually create forward progress and momentum. Because any of you or any of us who have ever, and I've done this, and maybe you've done this, you've put time, you put effort, you put energy into a program, a coaching program, an event, some new book, something that you started to apply, but you didn't get anything from it. It didn't create momentum. You went to the event, but nothing really changed. It's because you weren't getting the right information at the right time. And what the Billionaire Code does is it shows you exactly what you need to be doing at each level of development as an entrepreneur. And it will show you clearly where you are along the way, because there's a clear path to success for entrepreneurs. There's a clear path to what it takes for us to be successful. And I was really excited that this week Russell gave me some extra time so that I could share it and really go deep so that the entire audience could hear it. And gosh, the energy of walking onto a stage of 3,500 people is just incredible. And that audience is one of the most accepting, and Russell's audience is just, they're accepting and they're optimistic and they're excited and they're open, and they're very much like that's how Russell sees the world, and that's how he mirrors that. He walks his talk, and that's the audience that shows up. And sharing with them was just incredible. And what I want to do is over the next 9 podcasts, I want to go through each level of the Billionaire Code. And here's what this is going to allow you to do as I go through these for the next couple of weeks is it's going to allow you to first identify where you are, but also identify if there's anything else in an earlier level that you haven't covered yet. And because at each level of the Billionaire Code, there's what you need to do to move forward. There's your needs. There's what you need to do to graduate. There's the level of leadership conversation you're having. I want you to understand where you should be so you can tell where you're ahead on the chart. And then what disciplines, what places, where are you falling behind? Because the way that I coach people to grow businesses incredibly fast is to use this Billionaire Code to focus on the right things at the right time. And this week at Funnel Hacking Live was so amazing because, I spoke at this event 2 years ago, and It was also absolutely amazing. One of the best events I've ever spoken at, and same type of audience and same type of energy. But 2 years ago, I wasn't part of Russell's inner circle, and I wasn't coaching so many of the speakers. This year, Natalie Hodson and Kaylin Poulin and Allison Prince and Alex and Layla Hormozy all spoke, and they're all our clients. So I get this incredible, like, proud, excited feeling of just sitting there in the audience and watching the people who we're working with, and just listening to how incredible they are. They're just incredible entrepreneurs, and they have, each one of them has just these unique superstar talents. And I have 30 companies in our Grow and Scale program, and every single one of them is like that. They all are out there to change the world, to change an industry, to totally reset the bar somewhere. And they're applying the Billionaire Code process, and they're applying the Billionaire Code principles, and they're finding just the vast majority of them double-digit growth, and some of them like thousands of percent of growth since we've started working together. Not doubling a business, but tripling, quadrupling, quintupling over and over and over again. Alex and Layla Hormozy were on stage because they've taken a business from conception to over 8 figures. So over $10 million in under 10 months, which is, it's incredible. I've seen a lot of fast growth companies, but the companies that we're working with that are on ClickFunnels do like insane things. Like Brandon and Kaylin Poulin, 100,000 clients. Like, that just in and of itself is crazy. And then I've been working with them less than 60 days, or maybe less than 90 days. Yeah, it's less than 90 days, because in the past 65 days, they've launched $1 million company. So they made a 7-figure business, a high margin, successful 7-figure business that's making an insane impact on people. In less than 3 months, they launched a 7-figure business. So watching these teams, watching these entrepreneurs, watching our clients apply the Billionaire Code has just been nuts. Same thing with Allison. I think that she told us she made more in the first week than she did in the first 5 days than she did in the first 5 weeks of her last launch, in her most recent launch. And Natalie did something similar. It's like in her first couple days, she did what she did in weeks. Like, these entrepreneurs are amazing, and they are literally applying the steps in the Billionaire Code, making sure that they have the right foundation in place, the right processes in place, so that they can go all the way to not just building a 7-figure business, but then breaking into 8 figures and going through the transitions that are required in the 8-figure world and getting to 9 figures and beyond. Because if you can get to $1 million, my hallucination is you can get to 10. And if you can get to 10, my hallucination is you can take it all the way. And if you do it the way we show companies how to do it, as the CEO, you will always have a team of about 7 people you talk to, and they will always help you move the company forward, expand your empire, and make an even greater contribution. So over the next 9 days, let's go through the Billionaire Code. I want you to understand it in detail. I'm going to start tomorrow with the first level of the Billionaire Code, Seeker. And even though you may know you're past Seeker, you'd be shocked at how many of us are carrying around some Seeker qualities right now that I will help you understand how to shake off once and for all tomorrow. And if you want to get access to the framework behind the presentation that I did at Funnel Hacking Live this week, if you want to see the Billionaire Code up close and personal, go to billionairecode.com and click the submission link, and you will answer a few questions, and we will get you a full summary of the Billionaire Code. I can't wait for you to see it.